So on today's Card Academy lesson, I'm going to go over a little bit of an interesting principle with a short card. Now in the previous lessons, I've dropped some stuff on short cards as using them as a force and using it as a peak, but I'm going to show a very interesting principle that I like to call the svengali principle. Now again, this isn't something that I came up with. This is something that's existed in the lore of magic, but I've never really seen it given a name. So this is what I'm calling the svengali principle. Now for this, you're going to need your short card. So here I have my Queen of Hearts, which is obviously shorter than a regular card, as you could see here. Very much shorter, just by a couple millimeters. There's a little bit of a lip there that you could see. And we're going to actually exploit that to take advantage of the fact that you could actually shuffle a deck of cards legitimately with riffle shuffles and never disturb the placement of the short card next to an important card. So in this case, the important card is going to be the 3 of spades. So I want you to notice that if I put this card in the deck, I'm not going to try to riffle up to it. I'm just going to give the deck normal riffle shuffles. And you're going to have to pardon the audio here because it tends to limit the audio when it hears sharp noises. So just so happens that a riffle shuffle is a very, very sharp noise. So bear with me with a moment while I shuffle a deck legitimately. So I'm shuffling the cards. I'm not attempting to try to shuffle to the short card. I'm not attempting to control anything. Right now I'm just shuffling the deck in this riffle shuffle way without trying to adjust or without trying to control anything. And you're going to notice that regardless of how many shuffles I give the deck, because the short card obviously is in front of a longer card, they're always going to fall together. So they're always going to fall as one, much like in a svengali deck. If you guys are familiar with a svengali deck, it's 26 cards that are short and duplicates. So you're going to have 26 9 of hearts and 26 long or regular cards in a deck. You put that in between every other regular card, and what's going to happen is that if you riffle the deck like this, or if you dribble it, you're only going to see regular cards because the cards are falling in pairs. It's the same exact principle, only with one card here. So at any point in time right now, I could find my short card right here. You're going to notice that the Queen of Hearts is here, and no matter how many times I riffle shuffled it, the 3 of spades is still directly next to the short card. Again, they're falling in pairs. So it's never going to be a situation where you're going to be able to get a card between it. Now, if you ferrule the cards, yes, you're going to have the possibility that a card's going to go between these. However, if you riffle shuffle the deck and you give it any sort of riffle shuffle you want, you're going to notice that no matter how many times you shuffle the deck, it's always going to be the same situation where the key short card is going to be directly next to the important card or the card that's picked. At any point in time, you can just riffle up. Remember to the previous lesson where we talked about the control. Any point in time, you just riffle up to the short card, shuffle the cards, and you're going to notice that, again, no matter what, you're going to be able to control that card directly to the top of the deck. Right now, the card's on top of the deck. We have the short card followed by the important 3 of spades. So that is the svengali principle. Now, at this point, you could also overhand shuffle the cards. Now, I wouldn't overhand shuffle the cards unless these cards are on top. So unless the Queen of Hearts and the important card is on top, I wouldn't overhand shuffle the deck, because then there's a possibility that you could actually run through the cards singly and reverse the order, and you don't want that. So in this case, if these 2 cards happen to be on top, you could actually cut the deck in the middle, overhand shuffle the rest of the cards, and that doesn't affect the order at all because the card is just being cut in the middle of the deck. So at this point, you could just riffle shuffle, getting to the break. Make sure that the left-handed card or the short card is going to end up on top of the deck, and in that action you control their card second to the top of the deck. Now again, this is very interesting because if you see a spectator that could riffle shuffle a deck of cards, you could have them do this shuffle. So they could shuffle the deck as much as they want. Doing the riffle shuffle, you just tell them, do me a favor, just give it a couple of these shuffles. They're going to go through, they're going to shuffle the deck as much as they want, and at any point in time, all you have to do is just make sure that you riffle up to your break, shuffle that card to make sure that it's on top, and you have complete control over that card, in this case, the 3 of spades. It's not going to work with a dovetail shuffle. That's another little bit. It's not going to work if the spectator does a dovetail shuffle where they shuffle the cards on a table like a casino. It's not going to work in that sense unless you have a corner short, which is another type of short card that we're going to get into in a later episode in the Academy. But with this particular method and this type of short card, you're going to be able to have a spectator riffle shuffle the deck as many times as they want. When you take the deck back, you're going to be able directly to give it one more riffle shuffle and control the card without any problem on your end. So I think that's a a very, very powerful principle and something that could even fool magicians if done correctly. So that is the svengali principle. And again, just an interesting way of using and exploding a short card without doing much work on your end and getting it to control a selected card. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you guys for being members of the Card Academy, and I hope to see you on the next one.